7:30 to 9:30. And it will be held at McSweeney Ranch community. I really thought it was important for us to spread some of the location, or choose a location that not too many people know about, but should. So again, that will be on November 7th. That's a Thursday morning. And my homeless task force meeting is the end of this month, and that's all I have.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Neither one of you said what you really should have said.
What?
We were the three of us were at the Valley Restart annual fundraiser. They were part of the entertainment. We had Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash get up there singing Jackson, and it was well received by everybody. Everybody cheered. Nobody laughed. It was so. No tomatoes. We're just wondering what they're going to do next year.
Oh, I'm just glad it's over. So we had ad hoc committee reports. I'll let the city manager talk about that in his report on the Caltrans Florida Avenue meeting project.
Thank you, Mayor. So on that one, the council did provide direction on the last council meeting about responses to Caltrans regarding a few items. So we have informed Caltrans of the council direction that was provided at the last council meeting, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other reports?
Yeah, I have a few things to mention. I do want to point out that at the last council meeting, I talked about one of the groups, I believe it was Making Hemet Great Again, their tree lighting ceremony. I had received incorrect information. They had not received any in-kind contributions last year, so I wanted to make sure that that was clear. Again, it was an error information that I received, so I wanted to make sure that that was clarified. City of Hemet staff as well as the council is participating in a really unique concept. We will be raising money for Susan G. Komen IE, so we have received a number of donations provided by staff that we will be selling to help raise money. That the money that is raised will be donated to Susan G. Komen of the IE. We have received a number of items that they provided that we will be raffling off or auctioning off as well for other employees here at the city. So we're very excited to be participating with that. In addition, I was at the badge pinning ceremony that was hosted last week here at the council chambers. Just in the month of September, I believe we had 4 officers that had started, and so it's very exciting to see when those individuals come to our city and have decided to leave their agency to come to our city. So we're very proud to have those individuals be here in our city. Very excited to hear what the mayor had mentioned about the discussion that we'll be partnering with the chamber. We have a very active chamber here in the Valley, and we're very excited to be partnering with them. Part of the communication that I've been having with some business owners too that we hope will happen at that discussion too is what can the city of Hemet do to help encourage growth with existing businesses? What are the things that we can do during the processes when they come in, they meet with our planning staff or engineering staff? So we really want to make it a really good conversation with respect to what are the things that are on their minds, what are their concerns, and what we can do internally to help streamline or enhance some of the efficiencies in our operation. So very excited for that. And then finally, we did have a position allocated in the city manager's office budget for an executive analyst position. That individual did start yesterday. Erica Murphy brings a wealth of experience and information to the city of Hemet, very experienced with community engagement, so I know that that is one item that the council and the community would really like to move forward on. So we've been working on some things already in just the last day, so she's really hit the ground running with making a great addition to the City of Hemet team. So we're all very thankful to have Erica Murphy join the City of Hemet team. So
thank you.
With that being said, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Future agenda items.
I have one request, and it kind of falls under one that we already have. The second to the last bullet, council protocols. And I know that there's been some internal discussion about how we're going to facilitate establishing and staffing the infrastructure commission. So it would certainly fall under the heading of council protocols, but I think we might need to move that as a separate item. Just a suggestion that we come up with some definitive process that we're going to use to make that selection, because there's a lot of different ways that can be done, all of which have some merit and some drawbacks. So I would just suggest that we take that up sooner than later, so we can get that commission established and get off and running with it.
Mayor, yeah, if it's the council's pleasure, what I can do is have the staff develop some protocols that other communities have done. Just an example of neighboring cities, some cities in Riverside County, maybe some other cities in other counties, as to how they select or make appointments to their respective commissions. I can have a staff report that's developed that summarizes some of those items, and then have a larger conversation with the council about what the council desires to do moving forward. So we can certainly do that if that's what the council desires.
Well, I think Russ is correct. When we need to know, I mean, we have the commissioners that we're interviewing and hopefully soon appointing, but it has been kind of unclear what that process will be. We're in districts now, so is it somebody that has to be from the district? Is it and just moving forward, those have to be identified. That process needs to be identified, as you said.
Yeah, one of the things that Mayor Pro Tem and I talked about was, it's really an opportunity for the council to weigh in on something that hasn't been established in any sort of policy historically. And so for us and for the council, I think it really creates that prime opportunity to have a discussion about what the council would like to do as it relates to that commission. And, given the new change with districts, whether that changes any of the input from the council. So we can certainly provide that staff report, the background, and then have a conversation at a council meeting.
Well, and the sooner the better, because we also have the Business Advisory Council to decide who's all part of that. And so I agree with Russ that this needs to be probably sooner or later, rather sooner than later. So, do you have something to say, Linda?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You too, huh? Well, I think a clear, concise definition of what our options are for all of the commissions needs to be spelled out. But I mean, appointing this one to me is no different than what we've done for all of the others. You can appoint sphere of influence. You can appoint outside your district, in your district, just about anybody you want, which I like that flexibility, because if you don't have an option in your district, what do you do? If nobody applies, you got to go somewhere. And again, to me, districts is just further segregating our city, and I don't like that aspect. I want to be able to appoint the best person or the person who I feel is the best person to do that type of a job. So having those options to me is the only way to go. But I think it needs to be spelled out that you can do this, you can do this, and you can do this.
So I think the first step would be agendizing it, having that conversation publicly, and going from there. So we'll shoot for, I'm going to shoot for the next council meeting to see if we can develop something in terms of examples from other communities, and then go from there.
I think that's a good plan.
Do we have something in place? Because we keep appointing people.
You do have an existing system in place.
Okay.
And that system will stay in place until the council decides to change it. You have a lot of options on how you can go about doing it.
You know, while I appreciate the effort of having staff put together a council protocol, I think it would be in the council's best interest to be part of that process.
So
Whether it be an ad hoc committee with 2 council members,
I'll leave
to be input.
I'll leave that up to the council. What we do from the staff side is we will provide concepts, options, what goes on in other communities, so that you all don't have to do the work of what staff should be doing. So that's what we would be doing.
Thank you. Okay. Any other?
I'll move to add that to the
Okay.
future
Do I have a
agenda.
second?
I'll-
All those in favor?
I,
Aye. I think we have full consensus on that, unless you need the buttons pressed. Okay. All right, well, with that,
I do have
oh, okay.
I did want to, I thank Debbie for reporting on the Water Leaders Academy. When we were nearing the end of that event, I asked if she was going to be coming to council and reporting on what the experience was like. So thank you for doing that, Debbie. It was very, very enlightening to me. Just another more water under the bridge of my learning experience about water issues. So I appreciate that.
Okay, with that, and there's no further business in the city council, and we'll adjourn to October 22nd, 7 p.m. meeting. Thank you for all attending.